the All Access Football Daily Show, 7 days a week, live, 10 a.m. Eastern. You're home for real football talk. And I'm so happy to have our next guest. He's been a front office executive for the Philadelphia Eagles and Washington Redskins, of course, a head coach for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, as we just alluded to. He's also had stints in the XFL with the Orlando Rage, and even on the college side of things at Valdosta State and, of course, Widener University. He's also been involved in player representation. He's been a broadcaster. He's seen every avenue that there is to see in this football industry, and he joins us right now, the new commissioner of the Continental Football League, good friend of the show, making his all-access football debut, Coach Mike Kelly. What's happening, Coach?
How you doing, Rick? It's been a while since we've seen each other. I was going through my emails here and everything. I got stuff from you back 15, 16 years ago when I was, the head coach of the Bombers, and I got more stuff about when I was helping represent players. And the 1 year we had Barkevius Mingo go number 6 overall to the Cleveland Browns, and I was part of getting those guys ready. And I got notes from you from there. I'm like, holy smokes, we've been talking football a long time.
Yeah,
a long time. So it's good to see
you.
I'm just kind of a little mad that I'm not one of the guys that you're all cuddled up with in your intro there. But
I was thinking about it too this morning. I was like, man, I know I got a picture of me and Coach somewhere at a pro day hanging out or something. So, no, it's great to see you, man. And I tell you, I was so excited when I saw this news cross my desk, because I can't think of a more qualified candidate to take over as the commissioner of a startup football league. Like we said, you've seen every avenue that there is in the industry. So, for the listening audience at home, tuning in, maybe hearing about the league for the first time, give us a little background about it. Tell us how you got involved with it, Coach.
Well, this has been going on for quite some time, but my roots go back to when I was a little kid in Waterbury, Connecticut. And they had a team there that was part of the Atlantic Coast Football League called the Waterbury Orbits. And they basically were a farm club for the New York Jets. And they wore the same uniform as the Jets. And I can remember going down to Municipal Stadium. We could walk to the stadium from my grandmother's house. My dad was a high school coach at the time. We played in Municipal Stadium. And now I'm going down there to see guys that are beyond college. These are pro players, and I just fell in love with it. And so in part of our initial discussions, I got really nostalgic. I'll be honest with you, because it brought back these really good memories of when I was a kid. And so when you look, people have asked me, well, who's your demographics for this upstart now, restart of the Continental Football League? It's everybody, because there's going to be grandfathers like me that remember going to these games with their dads and what they experienced. And now they're going to have an opportunity to take their kids, who will take their kids, and hit all of it and go into communities that are underserved for football. And let's face it, we all understand professional football is corporate, America or North America. I mean, the CFL still has, a little bit of more of a grassroots feel than the NFL does, but there's still an absolute corporate influence there. And we want to bring back AA minor league baseball type feel, to have the community have some kind of real grasp on and ownership in that team, feel like it's their team. And we want to see little kids going to elementary school with their local heroes shirts on, rather than some, almost mythical type athlete that they see on television every Sunday. Let's have somebody that you actually know that can be your hero. So that kind of brought it all about. But it's been going on for well over a year. We watched what another upstart league tried to do. It failed. And I was in the original XFL, and I will go to my grave saying that the structure that we had in Orlando was really, really well done. I coached in the NFL. I coached in the CFL. That XFL year of 2000, 2001 there, the way we were structured in Orlando, I still have all of it, all the notes, all the books, everything. And so what we've done is we've looked at what hasn't worked in these leagues, what has worked, and we're trying to really accentuate on the things that have worked and put our own twist on it also.
No, that's fascinating. And I see the league is going to kick off in the summer of 2026. I have here looking like between Memorial Day and July 4th. Is that?
Yeah, it'll probably open up right before Memorial Day. and then we'll play. What we're trying to do is that these other leagues, everybody's tried to be so grandiose. And, they're flying all across the country. Their overhead is huge. They keep trying to get television contracts that aren't sustainable for them. They're not getting people in the stands. It's bad optics. We're going to be traveling on buses. Okay, this is minor league developmental football. This is going to give guys a chance that otherwise don't know how to get in front of professional scouts. This is going to give them their chance and actually have film rather than being in a 3-hour workout and hoping that day your hamstring's feeling good. This is going to give you an opportunity to play at a higher level and be seen. And we want to be thought of as a feeder system, for the NFL and the CFL. And and getting back to what our schedule is going to be like, right now, we want to stay contained. We want to do it right. We're going to put 4 teams in the north, 4 teams in the south. It's all bus travel. You play home and home in the north, home and home in the south. You go 1 against 2 at the end of the season. The winner of that, then now you have your only travel of the whole year is playing for the championship between the 2 divisions. So we're looking to keep our costs down. We're in negotiations with all kinds of people right now to really make this a first class experience for the players. Because look, whether you're coaching high school, junior high, college, whatever, it's all about taking care of your players. And if a coach doesn't have the mindset that he has to take care of his players, then you're not doing the right thing. And so that's where my influence of being a former head coach is that we want to take care of these kids. We want to give them an experience as a player that they feel like they are a professional athlete, and they will be a professional athlete. They're going to get paid. We're working on housing and the whole thing, but to keep it confined, keep our costs down, and make it a real grassroots type of football league.
Makes a lot of sense to me, because I think that's been the downfall of a lot of these upstart leagues. They start flying around the country, private jets, it gets costly. The venues simply does not make sense to me. And I've been to some of these alternate football leagues where there's maybe 2,000 people sitting around in an 80,000 seat stadium. Yeah. And they got the upper deck open. They got the whole lower bowl open. Nobody's seated together. There's no ambiance. Half the fans aren't even paying attention to what's going on. Like, yeah. This makes sense, logistically speaking, financially speaking. And let me ask you about the venues, because I always felt like, you got some, especially down in Texas, magnificent high school facilities that are, I mean, I've seen high school football fields in Texas that are nicer than the Rutgers facility here in New Jersey. I'm not even kidding. Right? So, and these schools are begging to have professional football league teams. So what kind of venues will you guys be playing in?
Well, we're looking at several things. Obviously, we want to be able to sell beer. Okay. That's just, we want to be able to sell beer. So there's going to be some venues that won't be, in the availability. Right. We won't be able to do that. But there are so many smaller and mid-sized communities that have municipal stadiums that have gone unused or underused. We're talking with a community in New Jersey that they had a beautiful municipal stadium, and they let it go to decay, but now they've refurbished it. They have a minor league baseball team playing in it, and it's exactly the type of thing that we like to get involved in, and so we're in negotiations with them. But it's find these communities that have a nice municipal stadium that's underused, a place where the fans can hear the players, can be close to them. I've been in those stadiums where and I'll give an example. Back in the mid '90s, when the CFL expanded into the U.S., in the summertime in Birmingham, they were getting 35,000 people. Okay, but as soon as Alabama and Auburn kicked off, they got 4,000 people, and now you're playing in Legion Stadium that seats 80,000. The optics, just as you explained, are horrible. And so, we don't want any of that. We want people coming down to their local municipality, sitting in that stadium and feeling like this is something of their own. So that's one of the premise of as we vet out, because we're getting bombarded by semi-pro, and I don't even know how to define semi-pro anymore. I really don't. But
a fine line.
yeah, it is, and it could be way over here or way over there, and we want to find some sensibility in it, because we're not minor, we're not semi-pro. All right, that we're not that. Okay, this is going to be a professional league played at the minor league level. Okay, we're just like in baseball, we're going to take care of our guys. They're going to be outfitted correctly. They're going to have standards to uphold. So we're looking at organizations that already have infrastructure. They've got the basics. Now they want to really find out, how do we do more? How do we do this right? And we've got the plan. We have the blueprint. We saw what happened this year with the Ohio Valley Ironmen, what they were able to put together, what they were able to do in that community, got their schedule canceled because they beat their first three opponents 166 to nothing, and everybody said, we're not going to play anymore. They didn't lose any money. Think about that for a minute. When was the last time you heard of a team that couldn't finish a season, but they didn't lose any money? All right. So we've got the blueprint. The key is going to be finding the people that will execute the blueprint. It's just like anything else. You can give somebody all kinds of tools, but if they don't use the tools, you're not going to have the success. We're vetting people out and having awesome conversations with some really cool people with diverse backgrounds. But follow the plan, and you're going to have a profitable situation for yourself.
Yeah, we saw that too in the European League of Football, where half the teams were competitive, the other half were watered down. You saw all these blowouts, and now there's a division up there. European Football Alliance is split off. They got 12 teams. The lower level league now has 12 teams, and it's hard to sustain. So let me ask you this, because I see here you're going to abide by the National Football League rules. You want to be a feeder program, so that makes sense to me. At least that's what I have in my notes here. You tell me if I'm wrong. And we have also seen, I think, Ohio Valley and then Austin, the Texas team also being announced. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, more of a central Texas kind of a deal than right in Austin, because I think there's a college in Austin there that plays pretty good football, and we're not going to compete with them. But it'd be right outside of Austin.
Okay.
Yeah, we're looking. Yeah, we're going to the first three quarters. We're looking at something pretty unique. Okay, I don't know if you're familiar with the Canadian Elite Basketball League, the CEBL. It's really exploded over the last 8 years, and they're playing in really nice venues. But they have an alternative scoring system for the last 5 minutes of the game, I believe, so every game isn't a blowout. You're competitive going in those last 5 minutes, and it's really exciting. It's something different. It takes you a minute to figure out what's going on, but it keeps people in the stands. And so, as I said, we want to be a feeder system for the NFL and the CFL. So what we're looking at is modifying fourth quarter rules. Take the defense a yard off the ball, unlimited motion on the offense, go from 4 downs to 3. Okay. The traditional clock in the CFL is 20 seconds as compared to the NFL's 25 seconds. Okay. That 5 seconds is a big difference. If you're a play caller, you better be on point and know what you're going from one play to the next. Because you don't have time to go, oh, look, how about this one over here? You don't have time for that. Now, the CFL yesterday made an announcement that they're going to modify their clock so that it's 35 seconds as soon as the play is dead. The clock automatically starts rather than waiting for the official to spot the ball and then restart the clock. So I want to take a good hard look at that. But if that's the rules that CFL are going to be playing under, then that's what we should be doing too. Just because if there was one thing that I learned in being in both leagues, people on each side, they don't know how to evaluate the other league. They just don't. And I can say that with a lot of confidence, and nobody's going to be able to change my mind because I worked in both leagues, and I listened to guys on both leagues say absolutely ridiculous things about players and the way the game's played on the other side. And so this isn't somebody that somebody can argue with me. I've done this. And so I think it would be a unique thing for each league to be able to watch our league play and say, oh, now I can evaluate this guy with my vision and help these kids have a better opportunity. Because a great player in the NFL might not be able to play in the CFL, and vice versa. They're different games. They're different games. And so I think this will give kids more opportunity and give player personnel people a better grasp as to the skill sets of the player.
I like that. You make it appealing to both NFL and CFL. As you mentioned, you want to be a feeder system and be a springboard for players who need an opportunity, right? Players that maybe slipped through the cracks or got injured, right?
This league has always been. Do you realize that Bill Walsh was the head coach of the San Jose Apaches in the Continental Football League? That was his first head coaching job. Okay, before he went to the Cincinnati Bengals as the offensive coordinator. Doak Walker, Steve Van Buren, they all coached in the Canadian Football League. Kenny Stabler, Sam Weich, Otis Sistrunk, Garo Yepremian, they all played in the Continental Football League. And in Canada, Don Jonas and Tom Wilkerson are two of the most storied quarterbacks to ever play up there. They all started in the Continental Football League. So this is the exact thing we're trying to bring back, is that, be smart about what we're doing, keep our overhead low, put together a financial plan that will be profitable for everyone involved, because we'll have an owner, but there's also going to be a community ownership component in every single team. So and now the community has a voice. They have ownership rights, and we're going to have boards where we can listen to what the fans want to see, what they think went well at the stadium, what didn't go well, and always be changing and making things right for the people that are coming to the games.
No, that's very cool. We're talking to Mike Kelly, new commissioner of the Continental Football League. And I have here, Coach, 36 active players, 4-man practice squads. Can you elaborate on this a little bit more?
Yeah, that's what we're looking to do. And those are workable numbers. I think the original Continental Football League had one more taxi squad player. I think they addressed 36 and had 5 as a practice roster. When I first went into the Canadian Football League, we only dressed 32, and then we went up to 36, and that was a big deal. So obviously a huge difference from a college coach that's almost has a mandate that if you don't have 100 guys on your team, you're not doing it right. But we want to make sure that we're not just having guys. We want to have football players. We want this is serious football. We don't want that guy that just fell off the bar stool the other night and said, I'm going to go play tomorrow. That ain't happening. Okay. These are going to be vetted out. We're going to have regional workouts, territorial workouts, national workouts. We're going to have territorial rights to teams. Makes no sense to me. Just as an example, we put a team in New Jersey and the whole roster is full of kids from Florida, Texas, and California. What good does that do? That doesn't give you any community feel at all. So each team is going to have first refusal rights to local university players or players that played somewhere else but went to high school within that region. Okay, so now you go to the game, you say, holy smokes, I remember that kid when he played in high school, but he left and went to Eastern Carolina. We never got to see him. Now look at, he's right here. Or that kid was a stud at Rutgers. Look at him. All he needed was a little more tape. And that's the thing that we're trying to do, so that people can recognize. So we'll have the territorial rights. We're going to have a regional draft, and then we're going to have a national draft, because there are guys all over the country that are willing to go play just to have that last kick at the can. So we'll do that. We'll probably go to camp with 50 players, no more, and then cut it down to 36 and 4.
No, that's very cool, and I like the fact because it ensures quality, one, and then two, if you want to get seen by the next level, you're going to get more reps, right?
Yeah,
Fewer players, more reps, more ability to be seen and develop, right? So
right, right.
I'm on board with that. Now, you mentioned workouts. This is going to be something I'm very interested in, and I'm sure a lot of the agents and players listening at home are wanting to know when will workouts ramp up? How do they go about registering for that? Any information you can share with us on that end?
Yeah, well, we're still in the process of doing all that. I'm still putting my staff together. All right, as and you know, I've been researching, you know, different types of leagues. You know, because I don't want, again, I don't want to be top heavy in my office. There's a lot of stuff that I can do. All right, but there's some things that I want to have somebody that can go ahead and we can talk about it. Now, this is your bailiwick. You go do your thing with that.
Sure.
Um, but right now we have dates tentatively in mind. I'm not going to put any of them out here publicly yet. But you know, if you go to coflfootball.com, we'll be able to keep you up to date on our website, and that stuff will be that's all materializing. We have a really nice outline of a 90-day plan that started in the beginning of September, and we're going through and working on all that right now. So we'll get it out there, but it would be premature for me to start putting out dates or
Yeah.
locations or anything, and then people start looking, it's not happening, and then because I've tried to help out other leagues that tried to start. I can remember going to a tryout and one guy showed up. It was because they did a horrible job of promoting it and getting it out to the right schools. All right.
It happens.
It's just so insane. Some of these guys, they start out and they're saying, well, we're going to get all the players from Rutgers. No, you're not. Okay. But there's a whole lot of good football players at Kane and Rowan. And so let's go find those guys. I know when I had guys at Widener, I had in that 5-year period, I think I had 4 guys that got serious looks from the
Yeah.
NFL, and there's players out there, and you just got to go find them and give these kids a chance, because a lot of them are sitting there going, I don't know how to get in front of a scout. I don't know how to get in. I don't know how to get invited to a regional workout that's being held, let's say, at the NovaCare Center in Philadelphia, and you got all these kids from around the area that they can't. How do they get in there? And unless they get an invite because somebody knows somebody who knows a guy who has a third cousin that's in there, now they can get in. Now we want to give these kids a chance. That's what it's all about. We want to give them a chance.
Well, I'm excited, Coach. Again, the league is kicking off summer of 2026, right around Memorial Day. We got time to let the dust settle. You're
Yeah.
still, working through the logistics, which is understandably so. And I'd rather you be reserved than put out information that could change, because so many times we say, oh, hey, the league's draft is going to be this date, and then it gets canceled or rescheduled 3 times in the
Yeah.
matter of days. But
Yeah.
anything else before we let you go here that we did not cover? I think we covered all the grounds here. Any other bases that
I just appreciate you having me on. It's so good to see
yeah,
you again,
man.
and I want you involved with this.
Oh, you know it.
We'll be talking, and we'll be up in your area and doing all
Yeah,
that.
looking forward to that, man.
And
And we'll
we'll
keep everybody updated on the website too, as the new
yeah,
information becomes available. The Continental Football League will be updating everybody on the allaccessfootball.com website. So make sure you subscribe to the newsletter. And where are you based nowadays? Was there a commissioner's office central location, or where are you going to be working?
we're using Wheeling, West Virginia as our centralized location, because that makes it easy. From Wheeling, you can get to the East Coast without any problem. You can get to the middle of the Midwest. You can go south. So that's a good centralized location. The fortunate thing for me is that I get to work remotely. I'll be in Wheeling, I'm sure, quite often. I plan on making a presence in every single city that we're in. But I'm down in Southeast Florida right now on the beach, just trying to work on this tan.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is I'm going to be visible. I'm going to be I'm easily accessible, and I'm on Zoom calls and all kinds of stuff. It's just a different world that we live in now, because we
Yeah, I
can
know.
have meetings, every day, and not have to be exactly in the same brick and mortar building.
Well, I'm happy to report we have one of the last true beach days here at the Jersey Shore today. It's gorgeous outside. So I'm going to head up to the ocean now, Coach. I'm sure you got to hop on a Zoom call, but we appreciate the time. I know we'll be chatting soon. Looking forward to watching this league come to fruition. And like I said, they've got the right man for the job, no doubt about it.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Rick. Thanks very much. We'll talk again.
Absolutely appreciate it, Coach. That's Coach Mike Kelly, the new commissioner of the Continental Football League, kicking off summer of 2026. We just got the whole lowdown. I really like the wrinkle there with the fourth quarter, keeps teams competitive, but it also gives talent evaluators from both the National Football League and the CFL to evaluate players with their style of game.